Alright, let's talk about the next update. I know, we still are in the middle of current version 6.2, and if you're on Android, 6.2 and change, thanks to that the patch for certain older version of Android not being able to download or access cloud data. So anyway, what this video is about is going to be the next version, which is to come out in May, I assume mid-May, version 6.3. So let's jump in and find out what that's going to be about. So they're basically moving more series out of the career section and into the new section, Motorsports group. So with the next one, 6.3, they're gonna create a new one called Endurance GT Racing. Currently, obviously, there's just two, right? NASCAR and Formula E. So now they're moving away. I guess they're gonna do this in piecemeal, which is fine by me, because that way I can wrap up some of these events that I have not finished. So this gives me, I guess, incentive to finish some of these older series. So they're gonna start out this Endurance GT Racing by moving the 2017 Porsche 911 RSR and the Aston Martin Vantage GTE from 2017. So those two cars, of course, are currently in the Legend Series GTE Pro, the Porsche versus Aston Martin bonus series. So they are removing that one. So if you haven't completed that bonus series, you no longer have access to it after the next update. So now that series yields what? If you complete it 100%, gives you 80 gold in total, and to get there, you need to bring your car's PR up to 91.2 to complete the very last cup race at Le Mans, the 3-lapper. So if you haven't completed it yet, it's something that you might want to consider upgrading. My vote is upgrading Vantage GTE, simply because there is, in fact, you can upgrade it 100%, fully upgraded, because there is, of course, what do you call that, exclusive series featuring that car, versus 911 RSR. Well, there isn't one, although that one has some more than one bonus series that you have access to. So in a way, you know, if you upgrade 911 RSR, it's not like you're completely losing out. Both are good cars, but for me, I know both are great cars, but I don't know, something about the Aston Martins, especially Vantage GTE, special car for me. What can I say? So anyway, which car you pick is entirely up to you, but my vote is on Aston Martin before the next update. So I'll have to get moving on that one, because in that series I got about 25% completion. So got some ways to go. So we'll get that rolling. And then, of course, they're making some performance changes to current cars that's already there. Starting out with the F1 GTR McLaren. So they're kind of, what would you call it, nerfing this particular one. So, which is kind of unfortunate, because the series this car's featured in is the McLaren Generations. This one goes up against P1 GTR, which is one of the best one in the entire Real Racing 3. And they're nerfing F1 GTR even more. So Perhaps the performance rating, the PR rating adjustment is to reflect it more accurately. So originally it says it was ranging from 63.6 all the way up to 80.3 if you fully upgrade it. Now they're going to bring it down to starting at 51.1, going all the way up to 72.0. And the performance is going to be adjusted accordingly, which I believe is to reflect how these cars perform in real life. So currently they go from 240 miles per hour stock, or 386 kph, all the way up to 261 mph, or 420 kph. So they're gonna tame that down a little to starting at 225 miles per hour up to 252 miles per hour. Still very fast, obviously, but you know, that is a little bit more lowered. Yes, and of course in this game that's a huge amount, 15 kph down in top speed. Yeah, so that's going to, as they say, reflect its real world capabilities better, which is nice, because obviously I feel like most cars, they're a little overpowered. Of course, but then again, that does make the game a little bit more exciting, I guess. So I understand it's a bit of a balancing act for the developers to, you know, make the cars behave as closely as they can to the real world model. But yeah, that's not, I mean, I'm no programmer, but I can imagine how difficult that might be. But anyway, and then the more stats dealing with the acceleration, brakes, and grip. So grip, they're not changing it, but the acceleration, they're obviously slowing it down a little, and braking distance, the starting point is changing, but when you max out, it's going to be really more or less the same. So and they're going to reduce the cost of the car. Upgrade cost is the same, as they say, but the car itself is going to cost a little less if you don't own it yet. So it's going to be coming down by 120 gold, from 750, costing 750 to 630. So yeah, with the car performing a little less, I suppose that's what's going to be reflected. And what else we got? So the series that the car's featured in, right? The McLaren generations. They are going to make some changes here. Let's see. Part of this refresh, we have added McLaren 720S Coupe and P1 to bridge the gap between F1 GTR and P1 GTR. So we're going to have a couple of more cars to be featured in this series, which is a very, very welcome change. I want more cars in every series, actually. So that's good, and it'll be nice to have those newer cars to be featured in more series. Although P1 is not a new one, that's been around since long time ago, but 720S Coupe definitely deserves more series. So I am all for that. And of course, if you haven't completed that series, here's the rundown of the completion rewards. 10 gold for 25%, 50% gives you 16 extra. So let's see, if you combine all of that, it's going to be what, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So 80 gold total for completing McLaren generations. How is it right now? I don't actually know off the top of my head. I'm sure it's comparable. And then if, like in my case, in one of my accounts, actually, I have completed it. So you, by recompleting, will get 3 extra gold. Although, how far would it bring down is the question if you've already completed it, because we don't know how many new events they're going to add it there. Let's see. Do they give you any ideas? Halfway through the series, contain goal for 25% completion, 16 for 50%. Upon updating, all trophies earned in the series will be removed. Huh. Okay, so it's going to be a complete refresh. Interesting. Although you will only receive, I guess, a very small amount, but recompleting this career series, you will be able to gain up to 67 gold from the new motorsports season. Oh, so they're sending another one in McLaren F1 GTR. Okay, so all right. So I'm gathering there's going to be also another motorsports series featuring McLaren F1 GTR. Cool. So, all right, so they're moving more and more kind of in a piecemeal over to the motorsports category or motorsports group, which is, I think, I guess it's cool. Because right now, obviously, your main career is a bit convoluted, let's just say. So they're doing it in piecemeal, so that gives us time to complete those series. So, all right, so that's a little rundown on the next update coming up. So, yeah, discuss, comment in the comment section below, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, take care.